Once again, my friends, we have got Capital Games getting on the forums, and they are torturing us with puzzles that are too complicated for common people. There are a lot of smart dudes on Reddit who are currently going through all of these different codes and ciphers, trying to figure out what Crumb is trying to tell us. Now, whatever this is, I don't know if I have 100% confirmation yet, but I think I have a pretty good hunch based on, well, not my hunch, but based on somebody else's work on Reddit, and we'll get to that. But what we do know is that we have been teased that original trilogy content is coming to Galaxy of Heroes. And so if you consider what are the most likely original trilogy big things they could bring us, some of the top items that come to mind to me are going to be Jedi Luke. I really don't think Jedi Luke is going to come at this point, just because, not because I don't think they want to bring him, but because we just got Revan. And Revan is a big deal. He's obviously arena meta. When Jedi Luke comes, Jedi Luke's going to be arena meta when he comes, if he comes. I think he'll come. So with Revan being that, so soon, I just don't see it being Jedi Luke just yet. So some other options are C3PO. I think that seems to be pretty likely, or the original trilogy Falcon. Those are, or both. Those are two things that have long been sought for that we don't have in game. We've got a lot of everything else pretty much from the original trilogy. I mean, we've got different variations of characters that we could bring in. I mean, we could bring in a new version of Han. Why not? We have a new Han like every, quarter at the pace that we've been going. So we could bring in a new Han, right? No, probably not a new Han. Maybe a new version of Leia. I don't think we need that. I'm sure I'm missing some original trilogy characters, but C3PO is pretty glaring to me, and the Falcon is so iconic that when they say, original trilogy stuff is coming, what's going to make me excited? Jedi Luke's going to be number one. I'm going to throw him aside right now because based on what just happened, I don't see that being likely. But C3PO and the original trilogy Falcon would get me pretty excited. I think they get a lot of you excited, and that seems to be probably the direction this is going in. So what's the hint? If you go to the forums, if you guys aren't on the forums, go ahead and check them out. But the first post, there's two posts, is this one that says 1214 with this symbol here. And this symbol, if you Google it, I don't know how significant it is, but this symbol means section mark, used to mark the section of a book. So maybe just there to throw us off, or are we talking Star Wars? But I don't know. But it plays a song. 16 minutes and 18 seconds long. Does the 16-18 mean anything? Or does the 12-14 mean anything? I think the 12-14 probably means that whatever this is, it is going to happen on 12-14, which is Friday. Let's see, Friday, 2 weeks from, so 2 weeks from today is going to be 12-14. And so if you listen to this, I've seen a lot of theories on maybe this is the music on your phone. Like when you dial a number, there's different pitches for different numbers, and some people thought that this was corresponding to that, and that it was clearly spelling out C3PO. And I was trying to figure out how people came to that, and it really didn't make much sense to me. So I'm not really confident that is it. But if you look past this one, Crumb also posted that he has a new profile picture, and it seems kind of inconsequential. I mean, this little guy, maybe this is teasing Jabba the Hutt, or maybe, I saw somebody else post an image that, oh, well, this guy took C3PO's eye out, so therefore C3PO. But if you look closely, in the bottom left-hand corner, right down here, there's a little barcode there, and to enlarge in that, let's go to Reddit, and there it is right there. And so what is the significance of this? We're seeing some theories. Some people are saying it can be converted into this URL, which leads people to a lot of crazy things. Let's see, I took the barcode and the colors and it gives you a Google link, which leads to a file called madness.jpg, but the file doesn't open. And then if you compare, let's see, where was it? There it is. You can put it into a binary text converter, and the first few lines of output give you something like this. And so they are using what is called a sulfa cipher, which produces some 6-digit hex color codes. And if some, let's see, it can basically be used to put together somehow like use the code to paint by number. And in this other thread, somebody was talking about that. So we got 2 threads on Reddit talking about this. And check this out. Where is it? Here we go. Right here. Incomplete image. Boom. So, if this is genuine, now I'm just going to be honest. I am not nearly smart enough to know how to get to that conclusion. But if that's accurate, that clearly looks like a pixelated image of Jedi Luke, doesn't it? C3PO. This looks like C3PO. And so, but what else will be in the image when it is finished? My guess is that it's going to be, maybe it's going to be a full image and that's just one corner of it, or is it going to fill that box? I am not sure. But based on what I am seeing so far, this really looks to be C3PO, which is definitely going to fit in with a lot of what we've been seeing. We see the Ewok logging character. We see that the devs have told us that we're going to have some original trilogy content. And so I think this looks to me like C3PO is coming to the game. So what does this mean for you? Let's say this is right and C3PO is coming. I do feel like it's likely C3PO will be a legendary character. Does that mean that C3PO is going to need Ewoks to unlock because we have Ewok logging characters? Not necessarily. Just because Ewoks are the logging characters does not mean, or we got an Ewok as a logging character does not mean that it has to be that. And just because the Ewoks worship C3PO doesn't necessarily mean that. An example we have of that recently is Rolo was a logging character for Chewbacca, but it was tied to Chewbacca, but you needed the bounty hunters to get Chewbacca. And so I would not go for broke on Ewoks just yet. There are a lot of other characters that could be needed, and every legendary to date has been some kind of opposing faction with the exception of Grandmaster Yoda. And so I'm not convinced that it's going to be Ewoks. I think there's a chance. I definitely feel like if you've got 7-star Ewoks right now, that's probably good. But would I blitz resources on them? I'm not sure. I'm just not 100% confident on what would be needed for this. So, C3PO appears to be potentially coming to the game. I'm going to say this is loosely confirmed, not 100%, but if this is genuine, if that trail with the codes and everything is genuine that gave him this, and I think it is based on what I've been reading, then I think we can be safe to assume that C3PO will be hitting the servers on 12/14. What are some of your thoughts on this? What theories did you guys have trying to solve this? Does this sit well with you? Do you have another theory of who might be coming to the game or what all of this coding stuff means? Let me know down in the comments below, and also let me, how would you feel if this is C3PO? What would you want to be the faction used to unlock C3PO, or what do you think it will be? And what do you think C3PO will do? We talked a lot about this in the Cup show earlier today. I mean, obviously, I think he'd be a passive character. Can anybody really picture C3PO going and punching somebody and he's never used a gun? Like, I just don't see C3PO using any kind of offense other than just buffing the team and being passive like Hermit Yoda. But what would you like to see in his kit? Let me know that as well. And as always, my brothers, don't forget
my dead body. Sorry about the mess.